Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a overview of the OSRS Summer Summit that happened this past week. This is going to be a very wide frame view of specifically just going through everything they released and teased. I'm going to be making further in-depth videos regarding some of the topics within it, leagues videos coming up, as well as more Varlamore and really anything big on the horizon within RuneScape I'll be covering as it comes up. But we're going to go ahead and get started just going through here. We're going to be talking about Varlamore and the teaser for that. We're going to be talking about Leagues 5. We're going to be talking about the Game Jam updates with collection logs, and we're going to be talking about the HD UI update. And again, this is going to be very baseline, just overview in case you missed it or didn't want to watch the entire 2.5 hour stream. But we'll go ahead and get started on talking with Varlamore. Now, for the sake of the video, we'll just combine parts 2 and 3 that will be coming out. So for Varlamore, part 2 and 3, we have gotten teased new areas of Varlamore, and within the teaser of the part 2 video, you can see off to the left here that they do have filled in what's going to be coming in part 3 as far as the landmass goes. So as far as Varlamore part 2 goes, we can be expecting new areas to the west of the savannah and the new Herblore training island. We can be expecting some new quests. They didn't get into a lot of the quests, but one of them they got into was Heart of Darkness. That's going to have a 55 mining, 48 thieving, 48 slayer, and 46 agility requirement. So if you don't have those yet, then get to work to get these new quests done. And I'm sure there's going to be some that are released that are surprised, just like the Tale of a Lily Pad Labor Dispute, the frog quest that everyone loved. They heard a lot of great feedback from that, so I'm sure they're going to be bringing back new surprise quests that, you know, don't have any crazy rewards, but are just fun storylines. They're also going to be releasing the Huacatl. They called him Huey. They're going to be releasing a boss that's going to be named Huey, and everyone's going to call him Huey. Now, this is going to be a group boss that is going to be soloable, that has several new drops, including the new Dragonbane Wand and the Tome of Earth. It's also going to be dropping the supplies for the Prayer Regeneration Potions. With part 2, they're also going to be adding the new Herblore activity. Now, this is going to be something that they have confirmed is going to be worse XP an hour than standard traditional Herblore training, but it will be more XP per herb, so really they're probably aiming towards Ironman players here. They're also going to be adding the Colossal Worm Agility course with part 2. That's going to be the giant worm bones and surrounding area in the savannah that are already accessible, but there's just nothing going on there right now. They will be adding that agility course, and it's going to add a brand new Varlamore Graceful recolor. Also, it's going to be adding a squirrel transmog, which will turn your squirrel into a skeleton, which is actually really, really cool, and I'm very excited for it. Don't have the squirrel pet myself, but I might have to start grinding. Now, with Varlamore Part 3, there's much less information on this, but they did confirm that they're going to be expanding Varlamore even more, as you could see in that photo. They're going to be adding new quests. Again, very, very basic information on this, but you can expect several quests with both Part 2 and Part 3 being released. They're going to be adding new bosses. This is going to be a first for old school RuneScape with an Enrage boss. Now, this is a boss that's going to be accessible to everyone, but specifically the mechanics of it are going to be geared toward high-level players, with the Enrage mechanic being that you can repeatedly reset the fight, gaining more and more rewards, with the downside being you cannot leave and have to kill him with whatever you brought. So you can expect some high-level players going for the longest kill streak within the boss's lair. There's also going to be a new Slayer dungeon that's going to be added, and a new fletching activity that they plan on revamping the skill because it's been constantly complained about in their yearly surveys that they send out, that the fletching skill isn't fun, and they're looking to just breathe a little bit of light into it. Now, moving away from Varlamore, they also teased a new quest, the Curse of Arav. This is going to be a generally mid-level quest. It is going to be master tier, but with very mid-level requirements, and it will be granting access to higher level zombies, similar to the ones that drop the zombie axe. But this will be dropping a zombie helmet, which aims to be a step down from Inquisitor's helmet, but a drop that will save you hundreds of hours of grinding at the Nightmare for a good Crush helmet. Moving on, they also teased a new Wilderness World boss called Rathmaw the Worm Boss. Now, this is something that I predicted they would be doing in my predictions video, and I believe this is going to be a good update. Really what they're trying to do with this boss is make more hotspots in the wilderness for PKers to be able to come together and fight, and they're really trying to make it so that there's nothing regular accounts will need or feel like they need from this boss to make their account worth it. So all they're aiming for is to increase hotspots in the wilderness, which I'm all for because it means less PKers are going to be bothering you at revs and at the wilderness bosses, because if there's somewhere that they can be where they know they're going to be fighting someone else or, possibly getting more money, they're going to go there. So I'm all for adding more hotspots in the wilderness. They also talked about the game jam updates that they're planning on bringing into the game. The collection log update is something that people have been wanting for a long time, and they're finally giving a good UI update to collection logs, and it's something that will be nothing but positive for the game. Everyone loves the collection log. Everyone loves being able to flex on other players that you've no life to more than them, and this is your opportunity because they've added some cosmetics to show what tier of collection logger you are. They're also going to be improving mini menus, which are your sub menus under rubbing your Ring of Dueling and choosing where to teleport at. Similar to a Windows function where if you have a drop down box on a right click and it expands when you scroll over it, that's what they're looking to add. Another great addition that's long overdue, but with all the engine improvements they've done and all the hiring they've done to leave these JMods open to do these passion projects on game jams, it's going to be very helpful and just a great quality of life all around. They're also going to be adding bank quality of life features, so this is going to include something like locking your inventory while you're banking so you can deposit all, but not have to worry about bank fillers and, screwing up your bank to deposit items while you're skilling. They're also going to add player-owned house customization, and these are all things that we can expect in the coming months from the Game Jam updates. This is also the first teaser for the new Fire Queen and Ice King boss. This is going to be a low-level boss that they are looking to add that aims to teach lower-level players or new players item swapping, so inventory management, something like a range and melee swap to gear you into those more mid and late game bosses. So something like a barrier before going to Zulrah. New players might try this to really understand that, you can't just equip something and kill Scurious. There's some bosses in this game that you have to use two types of equipment to be able to kill, and they're doing a great job with this because RuneScape really does have a high barrier to entry and a very high knowledge cap when it comes to how to play the game and how to be efficient in the game and best way to kill these bosses. So anything they can add to really break that barrier for these low-level players is something that's very good to the game. And finally, they teased Leagues 5 Raging Echoes. Now, this is going to be another area-locked league, and this is something that I did predict as well. And as I said, I think they're going to be making Leagues and Deadman a yearly activity. They didn't give us a whole lot of information, but what they did give us makes me very, very excited for this. They're really looking at keeping you locked to regions, but not leaving you stuck feeling that, oh, I chose mage, so I have to choose desert because that's where the shadow is, or oh, I chose melee, so I have to choose Mauritania because that's where the scythe is. They're looking at expanding the mega rares to all 3 raids, and they're looking at adding new unique drops to special leagues only bosses within every zone. So it really opens up your possibilities and choices to really play the areas you enjoy and get to interact with the content you want to, instead of feeling like you're locked down to a certain area just because that's the type of build you wanted to go for this league. They also further talked about HD and UI updates. They spoke about adding a plugin hub for the official client, and I think long term what they're looking to do is deactivate RuneLite and make everything Jagex client side. And they're, prior to doing that, they're really looking to expand the plugins that we all love and use, because they understand that without RuneLite and its plugins, this game is much less enjoyable to a large amount of the player base. So they're looking to really ramp up their quality of life plugins for the standard client. They're also looking at adding the HD feature to RuneScape, which I absolutely love. I think it looks fantastic. I don't play with it on just because I've been playing this game since 2005, and the nostalgic old school looks the look I enjoy. But there's, again, they're trying to attract new players and make this game more widely and easily accessible and desired by new players, which is gonna keep this game growing and alive. So I think HD is a great way to do that. They also teased Project Xanaris, which is going to be their entry into the private servers function for old school RuneScape. Now, the way they teased it is they're basically making it out to be a catch-all for anything you want to do within the game. You can fully customize your drop rates, your XP, everything within the game you can customize. And they're even looking long-term to have players be able to have full customization of things that aren't even in the game, so that you can fully make new bosses, new quest lines, new skilling methods, all these things that you'll be able to do that Jagex will be able to take inspiration from and update the main game. I think this is going to be a very, very good update for the game as a whole, and I really truly believe that there's nothing but positives that can come from this. Now, with that being said, that concludes this video. I am going to be making a more in-depth breakdown of some of the roadmap titles that interest me, such as Leagues and the Varlamore update, and even Project Xanaris as we get more information on that. If you would, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I really would appreciate it, and I hope to see you on the next one.